Welcome back. All right, so I've got all four boards set up for the Western Conference. I did all four of them at the same time this morning after my little interview. Now we're going to talk about the Oilers and the LA Kings. And this is a matchup that's tough. Like, I'm wearing an Oilers jersey because, yes, they should win this. But are there ways the Kings can win this? Yeah, there really are. So the season series, 3 of the 4 games went to the Oilers. In a shootout, 3-2 on December 30th. February 10th, LA won 4-0. February 26th, the Oilers won 4-2, and March the 28th, the Oilers won 4-1. The Oilers can beat the Kings at their game, and so if you're a confident Oilers fan, I don't blame you. The Oilers finished 49-27-6 on the season. The Kings 44-27-11. I think there were 3 teams that ended up with 99 points this year. Anyways, a lot of teams near 100 points and a bunch of teams above 100 points as well. So when we look at this matchup, we have to talk about the Oilers first, and we have to talk about Connor McDavid. So overall, 76 games played, 32 goals, 100 assists, 132 points. And for McDavid, it felt like this was a year where he's looking to pass first. We'll see if it stays that way in upcoming seasons. But man, once Gretzky figured out the passing first thing, he never went back. And since the All-Star break, McDavid's played 33 games, 12 goals, 53 assists, 65 points. So around 2 points per game all the way through, and that's pretty good. Draisaitl, 81 games, 41 goals, 65 assists, 106 points. Since the All-Star break, 36 games played, 18 goals, 31 assists, 49 points. So again, Draisaitl, 100 points. We don't even talk about it anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, Draisaitl, 100 points, automatic. Then you got Bouchard, who had quite the breakthrough season thanks to Paul Coffey. At least that seems to be the conventional wisdom. The Paul Coffey coming in as an assistant helped him with his game. Played 81 games, 18 goals, 64 assists, 82 points. If he was better defensively, we'd hear talk about Bouchard potentially with the Norris Trophy. But the defensive side of it isn't as good as the offensive side. But the offensive side's pretty good. Since the All-Star break, 36 games, 7 goals, 32 assists, 39 points. Zach Hyman, 80 games, 54 goals. 23 assists, 77 points. Since the All-Star break, 36 games, 24 goals, 6 assists, 30 points. So he's going for the Cy Young after the All-Star. Nugent Hopkins, 80 games played. Quite the drop-off from last year. 18 goals, 49 assists, 67 points. Since the All-Star break, 35 games, 6 goals, 17 assists, 23 points. And then you get to the goaltending. So the goaltending is going to be really interesting to watch in this series, because Skinner's numbers have been a little bit below average throughout the year, but Talbot, we know Talbot can be shaky at times too. So Skinner, 36-16-5 on the season with a .905 save percentage. Since the All-Star break, 13-7-4, 900 save percentage, which of course would have been hurt with last night's game against Colorado. So just say pretty consistent throughout the year. We'll see how it goes. On the LA side, Adrian Kempe, their leading scorer this year, 77 games, 28 goals, 47 assists, 75 points. Since the All-Star break, 29 games, 11 goals, 21 assists, 32 points. So absolutely strong run, consistent run. Fiala, similar story. 82 games, 29 goals, 44 assists, 73 points. So just on the verge of 30 goals there. 34 games since the All-Star break, 16 goals, 14 assists, 30 points. Kopitar, the veteran, the first ballot Hall of Famer, 81 games, 26 goals, 44 assists, 70 points, and remains one of the best two-way forwards in the game. So he's going to have to shut down some of the big scorers on the Edmonton Oilers, although there's others with the Kings that are capable of performing that as well. Trevor Moore had a career year this year. 82 games. Did I mention with Kopitar the points since the All-Star? If I didn't, I'm going to do it again if I did. 33 games, 11 goals, 18 assists, 29 points. Trevor Moore, 82 games, 31 goals, 26 assists, 57 points. So 30-plus goals for Trevor Moore. Remarkable run. A bit quieter in the second half, like since the All-Star break, 34 games, 10 goals, 12 assists, 22 points, but still, solid run. Byfield did hit the 20-goal mark last night in their last game, so he plays 80 games, 20 goals, 35 assists, 55 points. And again, for Byfield, it feels like this has been quite the breakthrough season. Since the All-Star break, 34 games, 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points. So points were harder to come by for him as the season went along, but it's a clean slate in the playoffs. And then you have Talbot, 27, 20-6 overall, 913 save percentage. Since the All-Star break, 13-7-1 with a 917 save percentage. But again, what's going to happen with Talbot against the Oilers, we shall see. Now, if you're looking at a direct comparison between the teams, Goal scoring favors the Oilers. 292 goals on the season versus 254. For the Kings, goals against favors the Kings, which won't surprise anybody. 210 goals against. The Edmonton Oilers, 236 goals against. And for the Kings, it's about establishing their game early and really making it so that it's a tough game for both teams to play. They seem to like the low event hockey. Power plays, that favors the Oilers, which won't surprise anybody. 26.3% for the Oilers, but respectable 22.6% for the Kings as well. And then on the penalty killing side, the Kings are the much better team. 84.6% on the penalty kill versus 79.5% on the penalty kill for the Oilers. Hits, favors the Oilers. 1,873, the hits for the Kings, 1,764. Block shots, that favors the Kings. 1,267 block shots versus 1,103 block shots for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, is it really important to lead first, or is it important to lead first at all? Of the series I put on the board, it feels like the Kings, it's really important to get that lead. And with the style of hockey they play, it makes sense. We'll talk about the Oilers first. When they lead first, they're 31-9-3. Great record. When they're trailing first, not bad. 18-18-3. Now, on the LA side of things, if they lead first, 32-7-8. Very, very good record. When they trail first, 12-20-3. So that's something to keep an eye on. If the Oilers score first, if they can keep it up tempo, they likely win that game. If the Kings score first, it might be one of those games where we get maybe 45 shots between the two teams. Might be kind of quiet. They might look for that 1-0, 2-1 kind of win. Then you look at the goal games. Easy for me to say. 1 goal, 2 goal, or 3 goal games. I think it's because I'm starting late today that I'm kind of tripping over my words a little bit. But if it's a 1 goal game, that somehow favors the Oilers. And I say somehow because the style of hockey the Kings play, you would think in a 1 goal game, they have a really good record. They don't. 469 points percentage for the Kings, whereas for the Oilers, it's a 609 points percentage. Then if it's a 2 goal game, again, you would think that the Kings who play this defensive style of hockey would have a better record. They don't. 500 points percentage for the Oilers, 231 for the Kings. And then in a 3+ goal game, so a big goal differential, it actually favors the Kings. 703 points percentage there, whereas the Oilers have a 628 points percentage. So there are definitely some unknowns with this one. This one's weird because to me, when I saw the 1 goal, 2 goal, 3 goal, I did a bit of a double take. Channel vote, 82% for the Oilers. But again, I don't think it's going to be a walk. I think this is going to be a tough series. So on the Oilers side of things, since 2020, the playoffs have been a mixed bag. They lost in the qualifying round against Chicago, 3-1 in 2020. In 2021, they lost in the first round, famously in a sweep against the Jets. Jets that went on and got swept by the Montreal Canadiens in the second round. 2022, it's a sweep against the Oilers by the Colorado Avalanche in the conference final. The sweep kind of took some of it made it feel like there was less progress for the Oilers because they got swept by Colorado there. Then last year, they lose in the second round against the Vegas Golden Knights in 6. The good news for Oiler fans is the last 2 series losses they've suffered have been against the eventual Stanley Cup champions. The bad news is we're this far now into McDavid's career. He's on the verge of 1,000 points and all that. They have yet to appear in the finals. They have 1 conference final to show for it. So this is a year it's really important for the Oilers to advance at least to, I would say, a conference final. Then on the LA side, no playoffs for them in 2020 or 2021 as they were in the rebuild. And since then, this is the wall that they've been facing. And one of the reasons why I think this series is a little bit unpredictable is it's really difficult to beat a team that many times in a row. It is. So 2022, the first round, the LA Kings lose against Edmonton in 7. Last year, again, first round, they lose against the Oilers in 6. So it's trending towards the Oilers in 5, or maybe we're due for a bit of an upset. So that's why it took me a little bit to settle on an Oilers jersey. I'm like, no, I'll settle on an Oilers jersey. Even made sure I got the little guy on the shoulder because I got the little guy magnets I'm using. Again, I've used those for the Oilers for a long time. But we'll see how this series goes. I do think a 7-game series is likely. I think that the first goal is going to dictate a lot. Now, if we look at the Oilers side of things, Mattias Ekholm has had arguably his best season. 79 games, 11 goals, 34 assists, 45 points. And yes, he should be more in the Norris conversation than he is. Fogle is a real workhorse, and finally the numbers back it up. 82 games, 20 goals, 21 assists, 41 points. Love Fogle's game. Corey Perry, since arriving in Edmonton, A, has kept his nose clean, and B, he's provided them a little bit of sandpaper and a little bit of scoring too. 38 games, 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 points for Perry. On the LA side of things, you got Dano. We know how good Dano is defensively. 78 games, 17 goals, 30 assists, 47 points. Dubois is one to keep an eye on. Dubois is that huge contract, of course. A lot of pressure comes with a contract like that, and in the regular season, it just wasn't there. 82 games, 16 goals, 24 assists, 40 points. He needs to have a good playoff. So Dubois might be one to keep an eye on in this series, as well as Laferriere. I love Laferriere's work ethic. 81 games, 12 goals, 11 assists, 23 points, but it feels like he could be a guy that gets a big goal in a big moment. So, again, if offense wins the day, it should be the Oilers. If it's a defensive kind of slog, they're skating in porridge type of series, you might want to take the Kings, but I think this is going to be close. The 82% honestly surprises me a little bit, but the Oilers do have, I don't know if reputation is the word for it, but definitely with the 2 series wins they've had against the Kings, people are going to favor the Oilers. I get it. I'm wearing Oilers too, but once I do my official bracket, and I haven't done it yet, I haven't decided this series. This one's going to be tough. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.